Dead On with Randy Ulmer.
Since the invention of the bow quiver, bow hunters have been debating whether they should shoot with their quiver on or quiver off. Now, when quivers were first invented, they were permanently attached to the bow, so you couldn't take the quiver off. So you either had to shoot with your quiver on, or you had to use a hip quiver. And in the last 20 years or so, they've invented a removable quiver, which I love. Now, as far as the debate as to whether to shoot with a quiver on or quiver off, I'm a pretty strong advocate of shooting with the quiver off, if you have time. Obviously, if it has to be a quick shot, then you need to leave the quiver on. The problem with the quiver is several-fold. One is it has weight on the side of the bow, so the bow is going to tend to tip when you shoot, and you're going to have to counterbalance that in order for the bow to stay upright during the shot. The other thing is the quiver kind of acts like a sail in the wind, and out here in the West, seems like you're always shooting in the wind, so it makes it much more difficult to hold steady. But the biggest reason I like to take the quiver off is no matter how well your quiver is constructed, because it's holding a bunch of arrows, it tends to make a lot of noise. And if you're worried about deer jumping the string, then it's important to take the quiver off. You're just going to shoot more accurately with the quiver off. Now, what I like to do is, if I have the time, I like to take my quiver off and I put the quiver inside the belt so I can shift it from my right hip or straight behind my back to my left hip. And a lot of times when I'm crawling, I'll actually leave the quiver on until I get into position for a shot, then take the quiver off. And sometimes I just lay it on the ground, but more often I actually put it on my belt and the arrows are ready for me if I need to make a second shot.